Sachin Awasthi shared a troubling experience on Instagram, revealing that he and his wife were detained for 38 hours in South Korea and later further faced restrictions while in transit through China. Awasthi claimed that they were denied entry upon arrival in South Korea's Jeju Island and were taken to a detention center without explanation. He described the conditions as grim, with no access to sunlight or the outside world, and the couple was given jail-like food. Awasthi also mentioned that they were pressured to purchase an expensive return ticket, which cost them almost 10 times the normal price. The ordeal continued as they transited through China, where they faced more waiting, restricted communication and surveillance, including police monitoring their restroom use. Awasthi stressed that while immigration authorities have the right to make decisions, he felt that they were treated like criminals, and his emotional toll from the experience was significant. Let me go across to my colleague Brian Thomas for more on this. Brian, take us through the details of this case that is emerging.
Sachin Awasthi has alleged that he was treated like a criminal during a 38-hour detention by authorities in South Korea, claiming he faced repeated questioning, strict movements, and even confiscation of devices during the ordeal. He was given no food, his phones were confiscated, and also said that the detention followed immigration scrutiny during his visit and that he was held without any clear explanation before being released. He also raised concerns over the treatment of Indian travelers abroad, described the experience on his YouTube channel as traumatic, and said that he was denied any normal communication access for long periods. Not only that, this incident has even drawn attention on social media and prompted calls for clarification from South Korean authorities on the grounds for detention, and even procedures followed. He and his wife both were detained, and not only that, the diplomatic channels are also expected to see details on this case and ensure due process was served. Yes.
All right, Brian. In fact, also joining us on the broadcast is Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, former diplomat. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to NewsX. A very good morning to you. Ambassador Gupta, when we look at such cases, if you can take us through the details of what actually could have happened that led to these long hours of detention. Over here, the content creator is alleging that there was no sunlight in that room where they were held, there was jail-like food. So a lot of allegations coming.
Good morning, Shivani. I think this is very sad news. We have such good relations with South Korea. I don't know why they treated him so badly. This is not desirable at all. I think the government should lodge a very strong protest against what has happened. The embassy should also lodge a protest there in Seoul, and the ambassador in Delhi should be called and should be told that this kind of behavior is not desirable. Given our good relations with South Korea, why should this happen? So I think that is the option now, and the government, I'm sure, should exercise that option. But it is very, very unfortunate, this kind of denial, treating somebody like a criminal, not giving him food, keeping him in darkness, is absolutely inhuman. And I don't understand why this happened. Was there some verbal duel between the two, the immigration authorities and him, or it was just the bad conduct on the part of the immigration officers? But in any case, it should be raised with the Korean government and should be raised very forcefully, both in Delhi as well as in Seoul.
Absolutely, Ambassador Gupta. And if I can also get your observation regarding the detention in China as well. So in China, obviously, we have been seeing various other influencers and various other citizens of India as well who have been detained for long hours without any reason. In fact, this person was also detained in China, sir, later on.
I think this is unfortunate. I don't know whether there was some communication between South Korean authorities and Chinese authorities, and that could be one of the reasons. But otherwise, China, sometimes they are very arbitrary. They don't even disclose why are they detaining, and they behave in a very, very peculiar manner, very secretive approach. So it is very difficult to say why they detained him and why he was not given proper facilities. But if it is so serious there as well, it should be raised with Chinese authorities also. I think this is a fit case for raising both with South Korea and China, and telling them that even if there is a problem, they can, ask him to sit down properly, treat him properly, and if he is not eligible, they can deny him the entry. That's all right. But they cannot mistreat a person in transit. That's not correct.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to NewsX.